Okay, perfect. So I'm super excited for tonight because we have Jen Stevens on here. And if you guys don't know who Jen is, she's a presidential diamond, and I'm going to let her share her story. But she is like the queen of personal development, of being in the right mindset, of being positive, and like literally all of the things. So if you guys have any questions about personal development, go ahead and put them in the chat right now. But I have none written out for Jen because I really just wanted her to go wherever she wanted to go with it. So Jen, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. If you want to just start by sharing a little bit about you, about your story, anything at all you want to share, and then go wherever you want. So I just unmuted you.
Yeah, yay. Hi, guys. I'm Jen Stevens, and I have been with It Works for over 8 years now, which is crazy when I say it out loud. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But when I started, I had two little guys that are now really big, and I worked full time as a counselor. If you want a picture, get a visual of the definition of busy. I worked this business on my lunch hour, which when you're a counselor, you can't work this. I don't know how many of you guys are trying to do this while working a job, but I couldn't sneak this in while I was working because I was with clients. So on my like 30-minute lunch break that I would schedule as I'm pumping, I would be sitting there trying to crank out my list. So it was a lot of multitasking, a lot of craziness. I was so busy. My husband works really long hours every single day. And yeah, there were like a million reasons why it was crazy for me to say yes to a business like this. But we had like $50,000 in credit card debt. And my oldest son was getting ready to want to play club sports. For those of you moms out there, you know, if your kids play sports, how crazy expensive it is. And we just needed something to change. So I can't believe to this day that I said yes to this because I'm so shy. This is so out of my comfort zone, but I did it. And obviously, if I've been here for 8 years, a huge part of why I've actually been successful is because I've always believed, not necessarily that I was amazing and I could do anything, but I believed in my work ethic, and I believed in getting on calls like this and seeing so many different kinds of people that were being successful. And I would think, okay, like if she can do it while she's homeschooling 7 kids, then I can do it. Or if she can do it when she's homeless. I mean, the stories that you guys hear. So kudos to you all for getting on this call tonight, because that's what it's all about. Your mindset and your belief in this business and in yourself, and in knowing that you're no different from all the people that you hear on these calls is key. And I think that's why I'm still here, because I'm not a mass enroller. I don't enroll crazy numbers of people, but what I do is I keep my head right and I put my head down and I get to work even when things are hard. So in 8 years, I mean, we could be here all night hearing my story. 8 years, I've had extreme highs, I've had extreme lows, but Courtney's right. I'm so all about personal development, mindset, and turning the bus around when it starts to go down the path of like doubt.
Yeah, you're so good at that. Like anytime that I'm ever having like a bad day or just like not in the right mindset, I text you and I'm like, okay, so here's what's happening. You're like, okay, so we're gonna stop. You're gonna do these affirmations and then you're gonna go do this. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. So talk to us a little bit. Let's first talk to the new distributor who's like, what is personal development? What are you talking about with this mindset stuff? Because I remember when I started and people talked about mindset stuff and like personal development and affirmations, I'm like, that's like voodoo stuff. Like, you want me to go like talk to myself in the mirror? Like, I had flashbacks to like elementary school sleepovers with like the Hail Mary or whatever the heck it was, like, or Bloody Mary. Like, I was like, I am not talking to myself in a mirror, you guys. Like, I don't know if anyone else was like that, but I was not about it. So talk to the new distributor who keeps hearing, oh, do personal development. Oh, make sure your mind's right. That's like, what the heck are you talking about?
Okay, so funny that you say that, because my background is in the power of your mind and the ability for you to change your life. Like, I have a freaking master's degree in that, you guys. But when I started this business, it was the end of November, and my enroller was like, make a dream board. Oh, actually one came with my kit. You actually got a kit then. And there was this kind of horrific like poster that we were supposed to fill out. It was your dream board. And she was like, fill out this dream board and get on these calls every Monday night. Show me the money. This is how they're going to show you the money. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not making that poster. I don't have time to get on these calls. Like, did you hear me when I say I'm like trying to work this with like my boobs in a pump? Like, I don't have time to sit on calls. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not doing the personal development. Just tell me what to post and we'll go from there. So I did this for like, it was after New Year's. And I think it was like New Year's resolutions that got the best of me in like finally deciding, okay, I'm going to set some goals. We're going to call them goals. We're not going to call it a dream board. But when I started thinking about my goals, you know, $50,000 in credit card debt, you guys, to have a goal to be debt free sounded like I might as well have said, I want to turn into a unicorn and fly around the world. Like, just starting off, my goals felt completely unattainable. And I was focused on that. But it was probably on a call just like this, because I finally drank the Kool-Aid and got on the Monday show me the money call. I finally started getting on those, and I heard from another distributor that sounded just like me. And I was like, okay, so she can do this. She did this. And one of the quotes I heard on one of those early calls was, if you want to be successful, find someone who's where you want to be and do what they're doing. And I was like, okay, now that's logical to me. That's not voodoo, Bloody Mary in the mirror. Like, that was logical and I could get behind that. So that's what I did. And you guys have that in whatever page you're in. I'll guarantee you that every morning there's a hashtag page host going on. You guys have access to that so much more than I did when I started. Like, those people that are hashtag page hosts are all people that have made $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a month. So those are the people that are sharing what they're doing to be successful. Do it. But don't skip over the step on the list that says affirmations or personal development or whatever, however they phrase it, because that's probably the most important thing on the list.
Yeah. So talk to
Drink
us.
the or as early as possible, because once I drank it.
Yeah. Y'all, I was not having it when I started. I was not about it. I was like, you want me to like write things out and like talk to myself? Like, this is not, no, I wanted to make money, not like speak to myself like I didn't have any friends. Like, I was just like not having it. So talk to us about like, if you're a brand new distributor, what are some things that you can do to work on your mindset? Is there like a couple books you could recommend, some affirmations that you like to give new distributors to say out loud? What do you walk a new distributor through?
Okay, so I always, and I think about this still myself, but I want everyone right now to just stop and think, just picture it right now. Like, let's fast forward 6 months. I literally just had to think, what month is it? That's, speaking of mindset. Woo! All righty. 6 months from now will be September. So I want everyone to picture that it's September 15th, because that's the day we're going to get paid. September 15th, 2021. I want you to picture right now that you're logging into eSuite and you're clicking on that little $sign tab at the top, and you're going to see what your commissions are going to be paid. Actually, that would be on the 8th, wouldn't it? I'm losing it. But I want you to picture that number that you want to see in 6 months. Is it 2,000? Is it 500? Is it 5,000? Whatever the number is that you want to see eventually with this business. And think about what that will do for you. What will that allow you to buy? What will that feel like, seeing that money go into your bank account? What will that let you do for yourself, for your family? What will that let you save for? Those are your affirmations. Those are the things that you need to be thinking about every single day. And I still do. I brought my handy dandy notebook down, which is a fancy Walmart 15-cent. I write my affirmations literally every day. I write a dollar amount at the top of the page. I still do this 8 years in. I believe in Jesus. That is a part of my affirmations. But if you don't discount everything that's coming out of my mouth. Go watch the movie The Secret on Netflix. It's about the law of attraction. But your thoughts are very powerful. So if you're picturing every day what you're stressed out about, what the reason why you started this business, if you're in debt, if you're struggling, if that's what you're focused on and you're stressing about, that is what is going to multiply. But if you're focused on this dollar amount that you want to be making in 6 months, how it's going to feel to be making it, what life's going to be like when you have that amount of money in your bank account, that is exciting. Your thoughts cause you to feel a certain way. Your feelings, how many of you said like, oh, I don't feel like working my business today? I did earlier today. Your thoughts create your feelings drive your actions. And you don't need to be a genius to know that your actions every day literally form your whole life. So if you commit today to thinking about that question, what's your goal income amount? What is that going to do for you? Get really specific here. Don't think about your debt. Think about your abundance. Think about your savings account. Think about having that dollar amount load into your account. Don't picture your debt amount. That's not productive. But if you think about that every day, that's going to feel exciting. You're going to feel driven. You're going to feel like you want to work for that. You're going to do your list and magic's going to happen. And I don't say that lightly. It does kind of feel like magic.
Yeah, it really does. I know I've been on a couple of Zooms where you do that exercise where you're like, okay, we're going to picture that it's 8th of the month. Now you open up eSuite and you have a panic attack because someone says commissions posted. And then you go see like your dream amount. And it's so cool when you really let yourself get in that space and you feel the things. It's like a whole different world. Like it's like you can see the future. So, okay, I know you do a lot of reading. I think you do Audible, like listening to them, but tell me your like top 3 or however many you could think of, like the books that you're like, these are the ones that people need to read.
Okay, so I actually knew you were going to ask me this. I had a feeling and I'm terrible with remembering. So I went in my Audible, and the books that just had a huge, profound impact on me were The 5-Second Rule. And that is not so much for mindset as much as it is for like, shut up and go do it. Like, part of my affirmations sometimes literally say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shut up. Like, whatever your excuse for why you don't feel like it today is stupid. And there are people juggling way worse than whatever it is. So just go get it done anyway. So, I mean, I'm kind of mean to myself, but it works, pun intended. But so 5-second rule, if you have kids listening, put earmuffs on them. You are a badass. Girl, wash your face. Sun, stand still.
Sorry, I was typing those in the chat, but I've read all of them. They're all so good. I remember I read Sun Stand Still first, and I texted you and I was like, Jen, have you read Sun Stand Still? And you were like, no, should I? And I was like, yes, you should. You guys, it's by Stephen Furtick, and it is one of the most mind-shifting books I've ever read in my entire life, because I think we get so caught up in this feeling that like asking for more is bad. Like wanting all these things are bad. And then that book, it's like, they literally asked for the sun to stop moving, literally for the sun to not move like that. I have never prayed a prayer that big where I'm like, hey, can you stop the sun? I know like it's only been done once before, but like, can you just hold on to it for a second? So I loved that book. So, okay. So every day you write out your affirmations. What else do you do every day to stay in the right mindset?
I I don't know if this works for everyone because it's not always been my method, but with my affirmations, I have to rewrite my list every day. Like I can't just have like a printout of a list. I actively have to write my list every day and cross it off. I have alarms that go off throughout the day. And this, it depends on if you're working, then obviously you can't have alarms going off all day at work, but maybe a reminder or something that pops up on your phone. But it's just a single word that reminds me of why the heck I need to like suck it up and get stuff done. So I would suggest that you have it be tied to your why, like at New Year's, sometimes people pick a word of the year. Have it be a very meaningful word that like snaps you back, because that's the thing. Like we are all going to have life happening every single day. Like life is never not crazy. Facts. Like there's always stuff. Sometimes it's more dramatic than other days, but life's always crazy. So I would be lying if I said like, oh, I write out my affirmations in the morning and then for the rest of the day, like I don't need any reminders of staying in a positive place. So I do have little alarms that go off that just remind me of what I'm doing. I have a devotional that I read at night. At dinner, we go around and say what we're thankful for, like what our best part of our day was. And I think that that's really helpful. Because you guys, if you're not thankful for what you have right now, you're not going to get more. We have to be in a mindset of being grateful for what we have right now. And that will make the better things multiply more and more.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so important to always stay in that position of gratitude of things going on in your life, because if you're constantly looking at what you don't have or what you need still, you're always going to be in a feeling of lack, and that's never where you want to be. So I want you to talk to the person, and maybe if you have any tips or tangible things, or you just want to like speak life over them, the person that just feels stuck. Like they just feel like they've been in a rut in their business and they're ready to get out of it. And they're just like, where do I go from here?
Absolutely. I've been there many times, many, many times. And I think the ability to get up as quickly as possible and not stay in that place of beating yourself up. So like prior to me going pres, for example, I think it had been 4 years. It had been 4 years since I promoted. So 4 years in between triple and pres. Do you think that there were many, many periods, months, maybe even years in those 4 years that I was very stuck and very much not in the right mindset? But I want you to just decide right now. We're just going to let all of that go. We're not going to beat ourselves up for, what we haven't been doing or where we wish we were. We're going to decide that moving forward, we're going to take the steps. So for me, that looked like telling someone. I think I messaged Allie Antonacci and I said, hey, I need you to hold me accountable. I want to send you a message every single night of the messages that I'm sending out. I need to send at least 10 opportunity messages every single day. And I'm going to send them to you. And if I don't, you need to call me out. So number 1, decide. Number 2, tell someone, have a partner, have someone that's going to hold you accountable. I didn't do like you or Lindsay or any of my normal people, because I knew that we would get in a groove where you guys wouldn't call me out on it. So get someone that will call you out. Make a plan that's workable. Like if you be honest with yourself about what you struggle with. And those are the things you need to move on, but don't make it unrealistic. Like if you currently struggle to add new friends, for example, I'm just throwing that out there. Don't tell yourself, I need to add 100 new friends tomorrow, because that's not realistic. You're not going to do it. And then you're just going to beat yourself up. So make it an attainable goal. So for me, I had gotten into a place where I was posting, I was going through the motions, but I wasn't doing that behind the scenes stuff. So I started with 10. I just want to send 10. I think if you're in a bad place and you're stuck, usually what I have found is that it's a result of two things. I've either gotten away from not doing something in the list, which has caused me to not have potentials, which has caused me to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't sign anyone. It's like, no, Jen, it's not that you can't sign anyone. It's that you're skipping something in this list that is resulting in you kind of being in a lull. So it's either that, and you just need to just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, be honest with yourself about what you're not doing. Or if you are doing the list, because this has been me before too, you aren't doing your affirmations. You aren't listening to books. You aren't getting on Zooms. You aren't filling your cup, and you've lost that belief in yourself or in the company. But really what I've always come back to is that I see, when I've had those lulls in my business, I see other people promoting. I see new ranks popping, new bonuses being earned, brand new distributors coming in and signing people. So I know in my heart that it's me not doing something. It's not like the business or the universe is against me. I know in my heart that it's me, and I just need to get honest and figure out what that is. So anyone that's struggling, I would challenge you to do that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you said like you didn't wait for someone to come rescue you. Like you got to a point where you were like, okay, Allie, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to send you a message every day, and I'm giving you permission to call me out if I don't. Because I love that you did it with Allie and not Lindsay or not me or someone that, because I'm be honest, if you came to me, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. Like, did you have a busy day? Like, girl, I did too. It's fine. Tomorrow we'll get back to it. And sometimes you need someone that's going to be like, no, don't go to bed. Go send your messages and then you can sleep. And a lot of times that's not going to come from anyone in your team. Upline, downline, like you need to have someone that's not at all connected to your business, that doesn't have any sort of money ties in any sort of way. So I love that. And that's something that you and I have talked about many times, where you're like, you need to just like figure out a way to hold yourself accountable, because for some of you who are home full time with this, it's very easy to just be like, oh, well, like I have all day tomorrow. Like I'll just double up my list tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you don't do it. And then it's like, okay, well, I have to get like 30 host to post up tomorrow. So like, that's rough. So I love that. Okay. So somebody asked, what are some suggestions on how you can lead your team and new distributors through the importance of self-development and walk them through it?
Okay. So I have my new distributors tell me kind of that exercise we did where we think, what's our goal income amount and what in detail will that do for you? I have them send me that when they sign, and then I turn that into their affirmations, like their I am statements, because you guys, your language is so important with this. When they send me those goals, it's like, I hope I can make it to diamond, or I hope I can be a stay-at-home mom. And it's like, no, I will make $2,000 a month. I will be a stay-at-home mom. I will be debt-free. I will buy a new car. I will buy a new house. So I put it in the language for them for their I am statements, and I'll just randomly send it to them to remind them.
I love that. I've never thought of that. I don't know why, because that's so simple, but in just like the random reminders, just at random times being like, hey, remember, this is what you want. Like, this is what you're working for. I love that. Okay. So I don't want to make this super long, because I want this to be something that people can kind of go back to, but is there anything else you would say to anyone about like tips for personal development, mindset stuff, anything that you've learned, anything, literally anything at all?
Yeah. I think you need to just figure out what works for you. You might like hard paper books to read, or you might hate those like I do, and you might need to listen. utilizing time when you're in the car. Like, I think I listened to all of Sun Stand Still while driving back and forth to baseball practice. You have to just decide and then figure out like how it's going to work into your schedule. If you don't, like, if you're not a prayerful person, that's fine. Go on Pinterest and or Google even and search affirmations for success or affirmations for confidence and write them out. I do this now with Drew, my youngest. He's 9, and he has affirmations and he recites them in the car on the way to school because he's watched me do it for so long. So it doesn't need to be something that takes super long. It can literally be breaths, like breathing in and out. And this is going to sound so corny. I cannot believe I'm saying this on a Zoom that's recorded. Oh my God, help me. But one thing, if you're hesitant to like jump into this and spend a bunch of time doing this, then if you literally picture one word that you want to be and one word that you don't want to be, if you take 10 breaths a day, so you guys, everyone here has time to breathe in and out 10 times, right? Thank you. You can do it in the shower. I like that. Do it in the morning. It sets your energy. But if you breathe in through your nose, picture what you want to suck up. So if you want to suck in all the focus or all the confidence or the strong work ethic, that goes in through your nose. And then when you blow out through your mouth, you blow out whatever BS you're telling yourself of why you can't do this. You're blowing out the feelings of being stuck. You're blowing out the doubt. You're blowing out the distractions. That is a huge thing that just sets the tone. Like, you need to decide what's your energy today.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that you also said that like you have to figure out what works for you, because for me, like just last week, I was talking to my husband and I was like, I feel like I can't do Audible anymore because I loved it for so long. And then I just found myself, my brain wasn't really focusing. I wasn't really taking it in. I kept having to listen to the same chapter because I was like, I remember nothing. And he was like, okay, so do something else. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cause I was like, what do I do? Like, it's not working. Cause I wanted him to fix my brain. And he's like, or you can just like read. And now, so
Yep.
I love that you said that. So just figure out what works for you. Maybe try listening to an Audible. Maybe try listening to, or like reading an ebook or listening to a sermon or a podcast or whatever. And if you guys don't have it yet, reach out to your upline and ask. Joel Dunn has a whole like Google Drive of Audible books that are like downloaded and paid for already that you can just go in and listen to them for free and see if like that works for you, that like Audible works for you, and maybe not. And if you want to try, there's an app called Libby. I'll put it in the chat. You just need a library card. You can download ebooks and audiobooks for free to try, like to just try things out and figure out what works for you. But at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, you just need to find something. I don't care if it's listening to a book. I don't care if it's reading a book, writing out affirmations, reading a Bible, listening to podcasts, whatever it is, do something. And you need to stay on top of yourself and be very aware of how you're feeling and very aware of what's going on in your mindset. Because when you take the time to look back and think, okay, so I didn't get my list done today. What was I thinking? What was going through my head? How was I feeling? What was going on? Because you can figure out, okay, if I would have done this to help my brain, this wouldn't have happened, type thing. So cool. Thank you so much for hopping on. I just wanted this to be like super quick and just share some quick things about how personal development works and things that you can do and why it's so important. So is there any last minute things before we hop off?
No, I just challenge everyone to figure out what you want to do tomorrow and do it in the morning. You guys, you don't have to do your whole list in the morning, but I do think that doing this piece of it, setting the intention for the day, deciding that you're going to kick butt, focusing on your goals, on where you're going, helps you to follow throughout the day, whether that's during your lunch hour or whether it's 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. But if you set the intention for the day first thing in the morning, maybe you listen to something when you're in the shower, or you read you have your cheap Walmart notebook by your bed and you do it in the morning. But I challenge you guys to figure something out now when we get off here. Feel free to message me if you have questions, but do that. Start your day tomorrow morning and challenge yourself to do it for the next 21 days. It's going to feel weird. Like this is a new muscle. You've probably never done anything like this before. So you have to practice it. 21 days to form a habit. I challenge you guys for the next 21 days to just wake up and say your I am statements, your affirmations, pray over your business, repeat your Google affirmations on success, whatever you want to do. Decide tonight, make a plan, and commit to it for the next 21 days in the morning.
Yeah, I love that. I hope this was helpful for everyone. I will put this up on my YouTube tonight. If there are any leaders on that are like, I don't have that Jolden link, message me and I'll send it to you. And hope like reach out to your leader first. And then if they don't answer or they don't have it, message me and I'll send it to you too. I just don't want to get like 7,000 messages. But yeah, let me know and I will put this up on YouTube tonight.